This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
Hallå där.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
Welcome back to the tent. It is Creme Patissier, a great British bake-off podcast. I'm your host, it's Tailless713, joined as always by my co-host, Nick Jew.
Beans don't go on pizza.
Bruh. A story about that. We'll come back around to it. And the other co-host, my man, Tatum216. What's good, baby?
I mean, blood don't go on pizza, but I guess, we bang on another coast.
Bruh. So, long ago, I went to Cancun. It was like my honeymoon. It was like a year late, but we went there nonetheless. And Domino's is big everywhere around the planet, but America. Even though it's big in America, it's like the third biggest pizza brand in America. But I remember seeing the menu and seeing frijoles negros, black beans, on the menu as a pizza topping. I was like, what the fuck is going on in this country, in this world, that y'all thinking beans go on pizza?
It's an atrocity.
It is an atrocity. It's an affront to pizza everywhere.
Pizza BOGO does that's one of their options, and
Call the
Of course.
Department of Health on them.
Good
my
Lord.
partner she's had it. She does do it sometimes because like we've had like where we make Mexican pizza. Shit, is that hot to call it Mexican pizza? But make a Southwest style pizza with some beans and stuff on it. But
Well, I'm just telling you, a nigga been in Mexico and they put beans on their pizza. Calling it Mexican pizza is not a disrespectful tone to take.
What do Mexicans know about pizza? I'm kidding, obviously.
Can't call it.
and
I love a Mexican pizza, guys, but I don't get beans on mine, even at Taco Bell.
Say word.
Well, so I do it one of two ways. I get no beans or I get no meat. I don't do the two together.
Never twain shall meet. I'm with you on that. I don't know. I don't know if I want some Taco Bell mints on my. It's been a long time since your boy ate beef. I'm sorry. It's like I
Ground
have
beef
no
is
idea.
yummy on pizza. Like on a Supreme pizza, ground beef is great. But beans, I have qualms.
Well, it's bread week. Before we get to bread week, your man Ant came through this week and said, "Hey man, we got a segment," and I was like, "Okay." gave me what he said that the theme song should sound like, and so I sang the theme song. There you go. That's what you get for this. And so this week, bakers make the
oh, nice.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, bakers make the world go round. Is this
That was
a
so
one-time
great.
segment or always segment? We don't know. But this week, we got
Come up with a song
some.
like that, then I'm gonna have to find some news every fucking week. That was good as hell. I love it.
Well, thank you, sir. We found a news story regarding baking. We thought we'd share with you right quick and have a good time. It's not long, but I ain't probably not gonna read you the whole thing. This ain't a standard skim situation. It's from the good people over at BuzzFeed. This is Megan Liscombe, who's a personal finance editor over there, and said, "I needed to make sure my resume was read. This woman printed her resume on a cake, sent it to Nike, and the internet is divided. A strong resume can take you far in your career, but nobody seems to agree on what exactly makes or breaks a great resume. In part, the debate stems from the fact that different industries have different resume standards. What looks great on an accountant's resume could be totally wrong for a teaching job and vice versa. That's why I always recommend looking up standards for resumes in your field and asking mentors and coworkers for tips. They're going to be like they're going to be the ones who have the best and most targeted advice. Well, recently, Carly Pavlinek Blackburn, they got her whole ass name out here, went viral on LinkedIn for a very unconventional and tasty looking resume printed on a cake. Carly, who was looking for a role in product marketing or brand management, shared her sweet resume in a post that has gotten 100,000 reactions and 4,000 comments. In the post she wrote a couple of weeks ago, I sent my resume on a cake to Nike. Yes, an edible resume on top of a cake. Nike was having a huge celebration for Just Do It Day. LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, and other megastars were at the event. I had done some research and found a division within Nike called Valiant Labs, which is a startup incubator for Nike ideals. So she did some research, found an Albertsons with a bakery section to make her custom cake, and used Instacart to deliver it to the party. With a special shout out to her Instacart driver, Denise Baldwin, who went the extra mile to get the cake where it needed to go. Carly wrote when Denise was asked to leave the cake on the table at the front desk, she said, "No, I need to see this go in their hands. I promised Carly I would get this cake to the right person." Man, shouts out to Denise. Denise navigated with the Nike campus all while having a sleeping child in one arm and a half sheet. What? This is
mothers make the
this
world
is
go
a
round.
sad this is a sad state of capitalism in one arm and a sheet cake in the other. Regardless, if I get the job at Nike, the best thing to hear that day was Denise saying, "You have inspired me." That was meant to be. I am a mom and I am tired of doing Instacart. I know I have more abilities and qualifications to get something better going. Well, that's lovely. I don't know if she got the job. Here, I'll scroll down and see.
I was about to say, that's the only way I'm going to say whether it was a good idea or not is if she got the job.
Let's see. Carly told BuzzFeed that a conversation with an old coworker motivated. I don't care about that, baby. I just want to know if you got the gig. She also said that it was she was surprised by the response to Porsche. I was really shocked. I get no. In my opinion, whether or not it's a good idea to send your resume really depends on your audience, the creative field. Sometimes taking a risk like this can pay off, especially if it speaks to your ability to do the job. But for a more traditional pass, it's usually better to stick to the tried and true. Girl, you still ain't told me if you got this job or not.
Now we see why she unemployed. Tell us. Get to the point.
Yeah, none of the story says if this shit worked. It just said you did it. Good job, Carly. Better job, Denise. Girl, I hope you get a better life. That story was more upsetting than it should have been to me. I should have read it first and not been so angry.
I guess the moral of this tale is Anthony picks a better article next week.
Well, as I was saying, we are in for Bread Week. Bread Week is always a banger because Paul is a guy who bakes bread. He's known for his bread throughout the whole of the not the Commonwealth. It is the kingdom at that point. So that's why everybody's always like trying to be like in it. But this week, my list of who's remaining in the set becomes something a little more sports related because Rebs was on the injured reserve. Abdul also on injured reserve. They both were sick. They got that COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they got that COVID. Apparently,
this is when it's like very apparent that it's totally different over there, and this competition is nothing like we have in America because they get to just come back.
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure. Because
like you can't break a bread at home and put that shit on video. Like I don't know if I'm okay with that.
I had to just send them on their damn way. Yeah, they was clearly sick. Apparently, the internet was, and like I said, I don't normally dig too deep on Bake Off stuff on the internet because I try not to get spoiled on things. Said Rebs was like, I was feeling fine, was trying to come in, but they told me to go home, and I was like, yeah, because you have COVID. You might be feeling fine, but you could be asymptomatic, like many a person have been in the past. And you could just be built better, but you still got COVID. And it's like at least two older contestants on there. Prue Lee in her, in her glory years, stay home.
Right.
We'll get you back. It's okay. I promise you. So that made me laugh. So everybody else in the tent this week is Janus, Shabira, Sandro, Kev, Maxi. Oh, I need to erase. I had Mason still on this list. My apologies. Get out of here. Maxie, James, Carol, and Dawn are who remains in the tent. First up is signature, and this week our signature was 2 sharing size pizzas, and they had 2 hours to make it. I love this conceit that they go through naming what they're doing, because I feel like this week, let me tell you, I told y'all I would make it a point to mark in my brain who is going home, and when that came to me. Mm-hmm. It came to me as soon as I saw that motherfucker cutting up figs. And I was like, you going home this week.
I think there's like a place for a fig on a pizza, but not fucking raw and thrown on at the end.
Yeah, those pieces were so big.
That shit was like a fig salad on top of a pizza. Mm-hmm. Serve that shit on the side. It would be a lovely side salad.
Or like you get into a jam and put it on the pizza.
Yes. Exactly. We'll get there.
And
I'm sorry.
I like Kevin.
I do not.
I do not. Oh, I like him. He's so funny to me.
He is so.
You look like Cumberbatch.
Don't disrespect Benedict like that. How dare you?
He looks like him. I kind of felt like usually the edits in the show.
Oh, I got a whole segment about that, so we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
I feel like we're gonna discuss edits. All right, let me run down what these people make. But again, my point being, they give these people these. They let them title what they're gonna make, and just based on his title, I was like, nah. All right, James's is it does belong ham pancetta is what they described it. Mushroom and pineapple pizza. Used a mix of strong bread flour and 14% spelt flour. For us people who didn't know, spelt flour is a type of wheat. Spelt is a type of wheat. Spelt flour is derived from. It's a whole wheat flour made from the entire grain and has an acidic, almost yogurt-like quality. Basically makes for a more flavorsome dough than standard AP flour.
So like a sourdough without a starter, pretty much.
I don't because I haven't had it. I don't know, but I get that's basically what everybody seems to think it leans toward. Maxie made sweet rosemary lamb pizza with minced lamb. If you hear me say minced, it just means ground, like ground beef. Just, you know what I'm saying, in case y'all think I'm getting too English on y'all. Lamb and rosemary, and lamb on a rosemary flavored dough. Shabira, Malaysian prawn sambal pizza. She abandoned her first though. She was gonna try to make it with some beetroot. She's gonna have like a real pretty dough, and it just wasn't gonna work out for her. So she went with a standard sourdough blend and sambal paste, shrimp, anchovy, chilies, and stinky beans.
What is sambal? What is sambal? Do we know what that is?
I am almost positive. Let me see if she used. I want to say she might have used it also during Showstopper. Let me scroll down a bit. What did she use in her? No, she used it. Oh no, yeah, sambal. So she did. She used sambal twice this week. Sambal is dried shrimp, onion, and chili, and in a paste. So. It's Malaysian stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I understand how its flavor would kind of lend itself to that. So shrimp, anchovy, chili, stinky bean, and the stinky bean. I guess the beans themselves aren't really stinky, but like asparagus, make your pee stink. Kevin, now bring us some figgy pizza. You see how that goes? Though, just a little too far. Like
I thought it was clever. I like Kevin. I think I like Kevin because he be fucking up, and he's just trying to make the best of it and like have a good time. And he's like, I don't know, I'm gonna go home, but I'm having fun.
It was too many times he was just like, I'm just gonna, I'm
gonna roll with it.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I get it, but no, I don't get it. This one is made with he made a chili jam, so he already was down. We already had a jam going. Can't be doubling up, I guess, your jam. So that's why figs, straight up figs, people. I want you to know that. Man, just cut up some figs, threw them on top of that shit. I don't even know how you eat figs. I truly don't, because the only fig I ever had was in a Newton. But so
You eat it. You just like peel the little tough part back and like bite into it. So you can totally eat it like that. But like it's the Great British Bake Off, my guy. Roast it, make it into a reduction and like drizzle it on top of the pizza. Don't just cut up a fig and put it on a pizza.
I mean, it's already chili. What it should have been a chili fig jam.
a fig chili jam.
Thank you. Yes.
Rocket. Do y'all know what rocket is?
No.
Rocket is arugula. They just call that shit rocket.
Oh, that makes sense. Because it's hot ass lettuce.
Yeah. Balsamic reduction. Halloumi cheese. Halloumi I've always known as a squeaky cheese.
I love halloumi.
Yeah.
It is if it's like a tofu texture.
And again, in my notes, it says it was here that I knew you should go home upon first viewing. Dawn went with a Tex-Mex pizza using stewing meat, is what she described. Stewing steak, I think it made it, or whatever. The turn of phrase was something I was like, basically just Sunday roast meat.
That takes long to cook.
Got to get cooked out. Like, on Sunday, like you cook that, go to church, run your errands, come home, and then eat. So guess what? It wasn't going to be good for. Anyway, fresh chili garnished with sour cream and guacamole. It basically looked like she was whipping up a pot of chili because she had beans in it and that meat to put on her pizza. And I'm just like, then call that bitch chili pizza or something, don't.
And barely any cheese.
Oh my God. Which then that comes around another time. So, okay. Sandra went for sweet and spicy pizza topped with barbecue sauce, chorizo, a camembert and honey stuffed crust in a heart shape. A real international pie when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Barbecue, a real American. Chorizo, a Mexican. Camembert, a real French kind of vibe. I really, really like what he had going this week.
I'm not a fan of barbecue pizza, but I really liked his like American type flavor this whole week. I'm like, he must have a cousin or something over here because he did a little. And what did he stuff in his crust? I couldn't catch it.
Camembert and honey.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a camembert is just a nice little. It's a French cheese. It's a soft cheese.
Oh, okay.
And it's nice. It's a nice cheese. So it's got a good vibe to it.
I kind of wish when they were cutting the pizza out, I got a look at the cross section of the crust.
The stuffed crust.
They showed it, but you couldn't really see what was inside of it. You could see that it was kind of hollow.
I like that Prue was like, I like a stuffed crust. I'm like, right on, Prue. That's real fat girl of you. I like that. I like that that's in your soul.
What's so sad was all I can think about when it comes to stuffed crust is Donald Trump eating it backwards. I eat it backwards.
Oh, shit. Wow, you took it way back. Carol pizza was named Pizza Exceptional most likely, because it was topped with Gruyere, Revolution cheese. Again, I know we didn't know what that was. Okay, hold on. Y'all know what Revolution is before I go diving? No?
I'm going to say it's cheese.
Revolution, as I know I hadn't heard of it is a soft wash rind and smear ripened French cheese made in the Haute-Savoie region of France from raw cow's milk. Because it's made from unpasteurized milk, we can't get it stateside. So Jazz, if you listen to this, we got our listener Jazz over in England.
Oh yeah, hey Jazz, that's one of the T-Town cousins.
Yep. Well, I need you while you over there, if you can, get a hold of some Revolution and just let us know what it tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if you, assuming you enjoy cheese, as you know what I'm saying. I don't want to make any assumptions. What if you was a vegan and I'm just fucking up right now? It also had pancetta, potatoes, and onions. It was a recreation. It was a recreation of the French dish tartiflette. I have no real French, and that shit look good. She put
potatoes.
I've had a couple of pieces of potato on it.
What ungodly things are y'all eating in Cleveland, Ohio?
If you come to Cleveland and if place is still open,
I'm not eating no potato.
Dude, listen. No. Hold on.
I'm gonna take a piece of 216. That piece of 216 change your life.
The pierogi pie
double carb.
You know what? I mean, get a few reps in before you come, but we gonna show you a good time. The pierogi pie from Pizza 216
Pizza
is
216.
exceptional. Like,
Okay, I do make an exception for a samosa because they have potatoes in that, and it's like a,
Little fried pocket and so forth.
yeah.
I mean, you can just say it's a samosa. I mean, it's
But that's not a pizza.
It's cool.
just call it a pie, or just dinner with friends.
That's what's up. That's exactly what it is. Janusz went for the the
Arrest
full
him.
English
Arrest him.
breakfast. And if you know what a full English breakfast includes, it includes black pudding, bacon,
And that motherfucker put all of that on there.
onion, sausage, mushroom. He used butter beans as opposed to baked beans, just as opposed to a can of Heinz, which is the popular brand over there, with a runny egg cracked in the center, along with his standard cheese of mozzarella.
Arrest him.
The sausage was actually a red onion sausage as opposed to red onion in addition to. And it was just like, it was a unique idea and something I would never consume in any way, shape, or form. Black pudding sounds disgusting.
Disgusting. Yeah, disgusting. I've had a breakfast pizza. I used to make them all the time on naan. I would like fry up my bacon and put my eggs and cheese and whatever. Like, delicious. Beans, blood pudding.
Blood pudding. You're barefoot.
He's not even British. Why are you doing this monstrosity?
Because he's been there long enough to that made me really laugh because him and Matt talking, and Matt's like, "Oh, you out here at this club?" You go, "Nah, I prefer Legends." "Oh, I prefer Legends, do you?" And like, "Oh, I see you know too." I'm like, y'all be at them gay clubs and y'all both know what y'all be kicking it at, and I love it. I love everything about it, man. It's just like that little wink and that nod of like respect.
Him and Sandro are also having a little like gay homie situation too on the low.
When we start judging, start with Dawn. The beef is, of course, what? Chewy. Because guess what? It's just the wrong damn kind of meat.
She should have did ground beef.
Or put that shit in the pressure cooker. I'm sure they got that or something like that.
Still take an hour. But that still take an hour.
Oh, you know what? I ain't quite wet out. Yeah, you're right. Janusz, Dawn, and Sandro and James all baked their pizzas one at a time. They knew that putting both pies in the oven at the same time wasn't going to do it for them. Carol put way too much cheese on her pizza.
That shit looked great.
That shit looks so good.
It looked disgusting to me.
I go up for Gruyere as it is, and that Revolution kind of look like brie. So a combination of brie and
where was
Gruyere.
The sauce?
I don't care. It's like a white pizza, so I was okay with that.
I don't do that.
Racist. I see you a piece of racist.
I'm racist. Give me some damn red sauce, some white cheese, and some pork products. God damn it!
This had pancetta on it, so you had plenty of you had your pig. You had your pig.
Pancetta ain't no damn. That's not no damn. I don't want a damn fancy pizza.
That was like. That was definitely.
I do fuck with it like prosciutto or arugula. Like I like that shit too.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a like the kind of pizza was like, oh, you think it's fancy, but it's definitely down home. It looked so good.
Like a cafeteria pizza gone to me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the cafeteria pizza.
The dish it's based on is a very homey French dish.
Okay.
It's like, I'm sure they have, of course, high-ended it in life, but it's very much just the potatoes, meat, cheese, in a pot. You know what I'm saying? Layered like a trifle would be, but, it's very,
It's
standard.
only like two of them pizzas I would have ate. Maxie's and Shabira's.
This is Countdown. The edit to that was a thing of beauty to me because him just sitting counting down, I'm saying, before he has to snatch his pizza out to hit that egg up. And I was just like, and they bounce around and they use it as a countdown. And like, it literally was kind of what it was timed out to be. And I was just like, and Ed had mentioned to me how
Except they have a stock shot that they've used in every episode that it's like either a stand-in because the back of Prue's hair is super darker than I think Prue's hair actually is. And Prue is wearing a dark blue sweater. In the shot, they've used it in every episode so far. It's Noel, Prue, and Paul, and you can kind of see Matt off to the side. Look, the camera's behind them and kind of above them, looking out into the whole room. Peep the episodes, they've used it every episode. It's the exact same shot because Prue wears something different every episode.
Ooh, because I can't.
It's a blue sweater.
Because I can't use our standard art this week. I might try to find that and screenshot it.
Yeah.
And make that our little art. Fair
I think
enough.
it's usually before the technical challenges when I've caught it at least.
And when they put the camera back that
yeah,
way?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same shot.
Well, otherwise, like I said, that shit right there I was like, that's hype. That's a good little fucking edit. Y'all managed to pull off of that. And I was just like, okay. And I assume that's what you was talking about.
I mean, just the whole episode, like
yes.
I guess except for one shot a week
that they've used multiple times in episodes every week.
And you know what? Now, if you saying that, it makes you think somebody knows that, and they like, I got.
I think they're doing it on purpose. I think it's an Easter egg.
It got to be a love letter to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Shabiris, the chilies, forgive me, slightly overwhelms the other flavors, but the bake was spot on.
You know, white people, they can't, every time it's some heat or some flavor in it, they got something to say. They did it to Maxie. They did it to Sandro.
News is slightly overbaked. Crust lovely and thin. Flavor lacks punch. Because it's English breakfast. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. It's like they make up for it not being good by just giving you a lot of it.
Right.
Full English is too much.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Kevin, very pretty. Base looks quite nice. Prue likes the color, but then Paul says the dough looks dead. Chili on the bottom works beautifully well with the balsamic, with a little hint of fig, but some of it is too sweet. So it's like it was all that his review, like I said again. Anyway,
so just all together, the fig shouldn't have been on there because he had too much sweet.
Because they really weren't on there. Like I said, they picked the pie up, the figs roll it off the side of it. It's just like, come on, bro. The figs were there, but they was not there. Figs was trying to leave as soon as they got there.
That was a good shot too. When they Paul picked up his slice of pizza and the fig was just like, you heard it go like on the table.
Fig doffed this cat and was like, I'm out. James, his base looked all right. The shape was bad. Good color. Promised an upscale version of ham and pineapple, and Prue believed that he succeeded. But then Paul, so he has this beautiful smile on his face, like, fuck yeah, I did. I hooked Prue Lee. And then Paul goes, I think your shit's dry and needed more tomato. And he just looks so just downtrodden, you know? So I was like, damn, you hurt my man's heart. Prue over here lifting him up and you snatching him back down to earth. Don Stowe could have used a bit more water as there is no rise. Surprisingly bland. If somebody tells you your food is surprisingly bland, English people telling you your food is surprisingly bland, what was your shit tasting like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was definitely a bad week for her, man.
Yeah. Should have used ground beef instead of stew beef, as the flavor would have been more apparent. Apparently, as well. I guess. I get the fat. It's most likely a fattier meat would have gave you more flavor. That's just what it comes down to.
Not only that, ground beef or any ground meat, it's already broken down and it takes flavor in. Like, it takes time to build a flavor with, the muscles have to fully relax.
Yeah, for sure. Maxie's, a thick base. They look fantastic to me. Just because y'all don't like a thick base don't mean the rest of us don't. Great flavor, rich lamb flavor, but would have liked it to have been thinner. That was their one complaint about Maxie's pizza. It was a little too thick, and I disagree.
I disagree.
Sandro,
There's thick crust pizza too.
Thank you. Sandro, great shape. Looks inviting. Flavor's good and ingenious. Paul would have it where he at a pizzeria. I thought Sandro at that point deserved a handshake, and it's kind of bullshit he didn't get one.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Carol, he felt it coming.
Yeah. Too much topping, which we said. Soft base. Taste divine. Because I'm telling you right now, using them wild-ass delicious cheeses, mixing that with some damn, I guess, bacon. I don't know what the pancetta. Yeah. And potatoes. all that shit worked together. You know what I'm saying? They threw it on the crust.
It didn't look appetizing. Like, it was just white. You couldn't really see the pancetta. Like, it was just white and doughy looking to me.
We used to eat this pizza. We call it the Dominic, which basically is a stuffed crust white pizza from Pizza Hut. We used to eat it every week because we used to record Skim here at my house, and we used to always order the Dominic, and that shit was very reminiscent of the Dominic in its flair. And I was like, yeah, that looked delicious.
I think I agree with Nick about 30%. I kind of feel like maybe if you would have had some brown bubbles on top, a little bit of caramelization.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I can't argue the point, y'all. You are all absolutely correct. I'm just saying that shit look delicious to me.
I would still take a slice. I'll pop some. I know I would because I don't eat pork. So, but almost.
It's got to be some kind of way to get around that. I'll figure it out.
1992, Anthony would definitely take a slice.
Our technical challenge this week: pan or raisin, 2 hours and 45 minutes. This was set by, as they describe him, the priest of yeast, Paul Hollywood. What he wanted was 12 identical pan or raisins, also called escargot or pan russe. It's the fruit flipper, basically a pan or chocolate for the weirdos who don't love a good thing, is what I wrote down in my notes. But basically, if you know a chocolate croissant, it's pan au chocolat, and this is basically the fruity version of that.
Well, I'm a weirdo because that shit had my left nipple like, hey guys.
Yo, they look great, and I would definitely go for it. I'm just saying, look, you put me the chocolate one right next to that shit, I'm going for the chocolate joint. Just is what it is.
What is their thing? This show really loves like raisins and citrus. What is?
Yeah, this is This is the second technical with two of those things.
Yeah. Dawn saying that she likes to nap in the theater in a production that Matt was probably in was a damn funny bit to me. It's like, what's the one about George Michael? He's like, Taboo. I was in that. And she's like, oh, you were in that.
Dawn is so funny. Like, I think it was Noel who was like, Prue says such and such about you. I think you could take her in a fight. She was like, oh yeah.
I know I can.
I love her.
Did not pretend. Did not say no. Like, no.
Like I'll beat Prue ass. What? Tell her to come see me. Tell her to come see me.
Oh my gosh. I didn't write a whole lot about this particular challenge because basically it's just getting to it. But if y'all think y'all saw something amongst it that had you thinking, please share.
It was our boy Kevin knew he fucked up off the rip. He was like, I'm gonna melt the butter. Oh no. Yeah,
he's like, so I think I'm just gonna melt this. I'm like, what the fuck do you think that recipe said? That's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks straight. Somebody's like, I'm just not gonna read what is before me. It's like they give you so little to go on. Just take the time to read it, because then when he did read, he's like, oh, it says freeze the butter. Oh, so my ass better not melt that butter. And you're like, mm-hmm. Like, no, you don't want to melt butter. The thing, the point Paul made, the point Paul made via Noel was no tails.
No tails. There was a tail on one of the examples that him and Prue was eating.
There you go.
Who bakes those?
Right. Probably somebody on production.
Yeah, probably just craft services. You know what I'm saying? Somebody crafty, so whatever. I wonder who does.
It's like in Survivor,
services.
They have that team of people. They have a team of people on Survivor who like do the challenges ahead of time. So they probably just have somebody do the technical bake.
That seems like a dope gig right there. Now I want to know some behind the scenes information on that. Well, we'll get to the judging. Kevin up first. Kevin, mind you, who just threatened to melt the butter. Mind you, they want you to freeze the butter. So let you know how this went for Kevin. Flat, doughy, and lost its butter. It's just bad.
But not the worst.
And his cream patissier didn't stick in.
We got Crim Pat, our namesake.
Quite literally. And he just like, if it ain't wet, I'm gonna let them rise with that, they soak it in Crim Pat. They'll be fine. It's like, no, bruh, they will not be. And they weren't. God, he was just so disappointing this week, man. That's exactly why I'm just so, ugh. I thought Carol's looked nice, but the judges said different, and they said it lost butter and too much icing. Again, they keep saying my girl could put too much topping, and I think they just she ain't built for this, but she built to hang out with me. So you're cooking up all these little delicious because she put them on a pan together.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that looked neat. They looked like, but they don't like. No, they want them to be individualized, and they put them together. Just had them have basically it's like they had squared off.
Yeah,
and they wanted perfect little spirals, and it's just what they wanted. And well, that's what's up. Janusz's look good, nice and golden, high, wide, no tail, flaky. Just nailed the brief. Like that is what they wanted. Dawn, okay flavor, irregular. Shabira, small, irregular, sprung a little, meaning the spiral was coming apart. Not risen enough. Nice flake, good flavor. Just needed more proving time. Sandro's too small because they were underproved as well, but good orangey flavor. Maxi, not all even, forgive me, but very nice, good lamination, lovely flavor, lots of orange. For James, every single one of them had a tail, but otherwise were well risen, had lost some butter, but the flavor was quite nice. The tail was ugly and far too much icing. So you the listener just heard me say all that. If you heard all that, you would have been like, "Oh, it's that dude came in last." But no, you know who came in last? Carol.
Because she committed a cardinal sin. She crowded her things on her baking sheet and had to rip them apart.
I legitimately woke up this morning and Scratch made some biscuits, and I baked them bad boys right next to each other so you can tear them apart.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
But it's a different situation. Yeah,
I know.
The biscuits, when they're together, help the rise. It's all like the opposite of the crabs in a barrel. They help each other rise up.
For sure.
Those are I guess and I guess what it comes down to it is we like it American style. We like it with extra extra frosting and stuff, and looking like.
But it's a technical bake, right?
Yes.
The point of this challenge is to technically execute the instructions. And if you fuck up on something like your shit touching in a recipe that's not supposed to touch, then you have not, been proficient at the challenge.
You have not executed as requested, and therefore you come in last place. Next up is Kevin, who should have been last anyway. 6 was Dawn, 7 Shabira, 4 Sandro, just right there in the middle of the pack. Third was James, second was Maxi, and of course Janus came through. And this is when we knew about Janus this week as well. It's like, oh, okay, you on fire this week, just on fire.
I think Sandro could have came in a little higher, IMO
for sure. But probably just one position. He probably could have came in third. Because I just said that James had a bunch of tails, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you got a bunch of tails, then I would have definitely flipped those two. And probably in hindsight, they would have as well.
This is they do this challenge quite a bit where they have to make them laminate something because it's one of those technical things as a baker that you really have to nail to get those flaky layers.
Did that this morning with them biscuits. That recipe didn't ask for that other stick of butter, but I did that. I was quite happy with my results of my biscuits. I crushed them biscuits this morning. It was the best biscuits I've ever made in my life. I was like, okay,
Vanessa posted about your biscuits.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Nick. Showstopper. Were you shown and stopped this go round?
No. I'm going to say that I feel, as the person who Bread Week is my favorite week, I felt cheated out of Bread Week this season because we didn't really get a lot of traditional bread. We got a pizza crust, a croissant, and whatever the fuck this was. I thought that there were one or two pieces that were really wow. Janus's, it was just a small regular cake. He just put it on a big topper thing. And in my opinion, nobody's was holy shit, this person made this incredible, it would just all look like a regular round birthday cake you would buy at the supermarket, but it was actually a sandwich.
Well, I mean, Showstopper this week was a Swedish Smörgåstårta, which is a sandwich cake. Once I found that out, smorgasbord made a whole lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's what's going on there. 4 hours and 30 minutes to do this. So they gave them all the damn time in the world. Well, I mean, I guess the time is needed. You gotta make bread, proof it, rise it, so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And let's run down the line. And once again, we get did I write down the name of Kevin's? I don't think I wrote down the name of his. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Carol, something fishy is what she named her smorgastorta, filled with mackerel and salmon mousse, with a pumpkin, poppy, and sesame seeded bread, decorated with pickled cucumber, or as you call it, pickles, and egg. Kevin, this is just me pointing something out about Kevin because they made it a point to point out. Kevin is using emmer flour, EMMER. Emmer flour is made from emmer wheat or whole wheat, which is considered an ancient grain that is apparently very flavorsome, but not one source on the internet with me researching this flour told me what that flavor was. Spelt flour, they said it was yogurty, acidic, and so forth and so on. They just said it's very flavorsome. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I want to know more. So if I ever find out what emmer flour is doing, I'll let you know. Dawn was going to make a chicken souvlaki smorgastorta. She was using a flour milled from a friend's son's farm's ancient grains. She did not say which ancient grains they were. Her tarta was filled with roast chicken thighs with tzatziki and a bread filled with olives and feta. She doesn't use any of the ingredients normally associated with Greek flavors. That will come back around in this discussion.
No seasoning whatsoever. None. No seasoning.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah. Paul
Go ahead.
right away. He was like, "Are you gonna use coriander?" He asked her that straight up in her face. She's like, "Nah." He was like, "All right."
He asked her 3 things: coriander, something. So she's like, "I don't like any of those." He was like, "Okay."
Guess who you not cooking for today? It ain't you. I can promise you that. Janus, he went for a fish and chip shop smorgastorta filled with fried cod and mayo, mushy pea puree. I want you to know something. These people celebrate mushy peas as if that shit sounds appetizing in any way, shape, or form. My Vanessa's dad called the other day excited because he finally made mushy peas at home, and I was just like, ew.
I happen to be one of the few people on earth who like peas, and just as an exercise, I will mash the peas and have a few, but I don't want a whole dish of purposely mushed peas.
Correct. Anyway, he had a mushy pea puree, fried potato slices, basically made chips. Chips in the American sense. I want you to have that again, not chips like in English.
He made crisps.
Yeah, word up. Covered in but the whole thing covered in a curry sauce. His bread wasn't described, so I'm just gonna say bread. Because they did not tell me what kind of bread he made. Shabir with a sonasi lemak smorgastorta, which is again another Malaysian dish. Coconut ginger mousse, marinated chicken persik, which is a Malaysian roasted chicken, in a spicy sambal paste. Remember the sambal paste you used on a pizza earlier? So dried shrimp, onion, and chili paste. Cucumbers layered between some seeded bread. Hers was the most, I think, the most attractive of everybody's this week. She really made a beautiful looking smorgastorta. So, super well designed. The cucumbers all sliced and spiraled. Do not sleep on her. At some point, they might be like, "I'm sick of your damn Malaysian shit. Make some English shit." But for right now, she can keep batting that up, and that's okay.
She's like Christelle. She's giving us the ethnic flavors, and she's probably the best decorator in the team.
Yeah, correct. Sandro made the ultimate smorgastorta. Coated it in a maple bacon cream cheese filled with pulled beef brisket, barbecue sloppy joe, and a spicy sirloin steak. He described it as a proper meat fest, and I laughed.
He has never been more attractive to me than the moment he looked into the camera and said, "I like my food proper seasoned." I was like, "Yes, Daddy. season the food, Daddy."
James made the most pandastic smorgastarter. He had a whole panda theme going on. Squid ink color marbled milk bread with a char siu pork shoulder and a plum sauce. My man was out here today.
He did a little something.
Yeah. I'm not saying he had any. He was never nowhere near Star Baker this week, but he was on point, with the exception of them tails on them damn. So like, boy, what was you doing? Anyway, Maxie, curvy seafood smorgasbord. Just like I didn't like last year's German week where they had this expectation of Jurgen. I felt like they pulled this out they had just because the old girl from Sweden. And I'm like, come on, bruh.
And she made you a traditional one, and y'all were like, I don't like it. Then why would you give this challenge?
Exactly.
Because her and Carol both were like, it's fish. This is what they do over there. They put fish in it.
Yeah. She made sunflower and pumpkin seeded bread and a plain white loaf filled with egg and watercress, crayfish and prawn. Prawn is just shrimp. I don't know why they don't call it shrimp over there, or actually just around the world. I feel like only we call that shit shrimp. So that's on us.
There are two different.
I know there are prawns to be had, but I'm saying in them case, what I was looking at on her shit, them shits was definitely shrimp.
Yeah. I also thought that hers looked nice. The judges were like, it's messy. I don't like it. I thought it was very pretty. She
did kind of just hit it with that watercress.
Yeah.
and I feel like if she would have, I don't know, just laid it out a little neater, it could have worked better for her.
I think, first of all, she did two different kinds of bread. Nobody else did that.
Exactly.
Then, like, I didn't even know what the fuck she was doing at first, but she cut it in half. I feel like it was probably, to me, my favorite. Even though I feel like Sabira's was better looking, I still feel like hers was my favorite because of what she pulled off.
Totally agree.
Kevin, again, this example of too much. I've started, so I'll fin-ish smorgastorta.
I love it.
It is awful.
With raw.
Think that is a terrible title. With raw.
So clever.
But not a net. Because, he doesn't have a net.
I love Kevin.
He has the driest sense of humor, and that is very fun and funny. He need to go back to his Persian church members. Sooner than later. Baked salmon and haddock fillets based on his wife's fish pie recipe. The filling, which actually did not find out about until judging, but I wrote it here. It's fish pie, deviled eggs, along with pickled gherkins, aka tiny pickles, and radishes. What I also wrote is there's a reason the editors didn't give us more on Kevin's tarta, and it's because that shit was whack. They just said my man making a fish pie tort. Just know that. And they left it at that.
He burnt the fuck out of that asparagus. It looked like a forest that had been burnt down. He should have left them shits raw.
Yes. Because I don't know, or just blanch them hoes. Like you cook asparagus, you know what I'm saying? Hot water, pull them hoes off. Oh my God.
He looked a mess. That shit looked a mess. It was like wilting.
When he explained that I don't do the cooking in my house, I do the baking, it's like, yeah, that is a parent, my guy. Yeah, for sure. As they come around to judging, Yanu says, Prue thinks the very ideal is disgusting. It's gross. Forgive me, gross. I want to get her words right.
Shit is disgusting.
But it looks beautiful, lovely bread, ingenious, and delicious is how they describe this.
Y'all know
it had a vibe.
It was cute. I understand that they serve fish and chips or whatever in paper cones like that over there. Yeah. Y'all know I have a thing like I don't eat wet bread. So the entire time they were judging this, I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna pass out. It's like all this soggy ass bread. Like he put curry mousse on the outside of a wet ass sandwich, and it just sat for however long it sat until people consumed it. Like, I just wanted to throw up. I don't want to be like culturally insensitive, but just the idea of wet bread is so unappealing to me.
Hey, it's why I don't like tres leches cake. It's just
Oh my God. Oh God.
just wet for no damn reason. Just ruining a good cake by pouring a bunch of shit on top
Oh
of
God.
it. Carol, as soon as she puts it out there, Paul goes, well, that's very Fanny Craddock. So you know I had to tell you who Fanny Craddock is. Phyllis Nan Sortain Pesce was an English restaurant critic, a TV chef, and a writer. She was basically one of the first cooking show hosts in England. So, like I said, she was somebody. So a reference Carol definitely got because she laughed and seemed to enjoy the reference. Prue thought it was a lovely beetroot and mackerel. Ugh.
Oh my God.
Beetroots is just beets, y'all. They just say beetroot for whatever reason across the pond there. But they were considered lovely. The egg and the avocado layers lacked basic seasoning.
Oh, wow.
Again, if somebody is telling you something like that, that shit should hit harder than it is. You lack basic seasoning. In the one part of your shit that definitely need to be seasoned. Egg and avocado are just bland. You gotta hit them hoes with something.
Mush.
Exactly.
Flavorless mush on wet bread.
Yeah.
With fish.
The salmon and pickle layers, on the other hand, were lovely, but the bread was still dry. Because guess what? Paul told your ass to add water, and you did add some water. You didn't add enough water. The man who bakes, who everybody knows, respects him for his bread baking technique, told you to put some more water in that shit. Guess what you should have did? It's upsetting people.
One thing we didn't mention from the beginning when everybody was rolling out their dough, Paul was like, "Why y'all roll out your dough like that?"
Bruh.
They went like 3 people. They were like beating it sideways.
4. When half of the people who was in that tent this week was all doing the same thing, and he's like, "What is going on?" And she goes, "I learned this in grade 7." Clearly, they all learned that in home ec, and it's the technique. It's the technique they have in English schools. So suck it up, Paul. That's what they teaching.
He
be
was
mad about it.
flabbergasted.
Yeah, he was really taken aback. James. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, James, a bit wonky. It just had a little bit of a lean to it. They liked the flavor, but it was a bit one-dimensional because it just tasted like the one thing that he put in there. But they did like the bread. The marbling on this look real.
It was dope.
James, like I said, is the Memphis Bleak currently of this season. One hit away. I'm telling you, man. He sits there on the edge. Kevin, they described his little fisherman as crazy. Which, when you hear it, you like, are you impressed with it, or are you clowning that he made this little fisherman that out of what was that? Cucumber, right? Yeah. Cucumber with a little cherry or grape tomato head.
And then
so
a chive as the fishing rope, the fishing line.
So cute.
Oh yeah.
So cute.
The asparagus broccoli situation was well and true overcooked. So he has these like, imagine if you will, if somebody took a piece of asparagus and stuck it on the side of a cake or whatever as decoration. It would kind of look like bulrushes or just
marsh.
A swamp. Yeah, marsh. Thank you. And because he overcooked it, it just looked like it looked like a dying marsh, and did not look appetizing in the least.
Mm-mm.
Again, we'll get there. Messy but amusing. Flavor's good, but the bread was overbaked by a lot. That bread looked damn near burnt. It looked dry as a bone. It got no rise. So I'm like, all that height you got was basically just filling, which I guess, hey, good on you for that. No.
Yuck.
It looked like it was sprinkled with black cocoa powder.
Maxi, colorful but messy. Fillings were delicious. The seeded loaf was too heavy. The white loaf, lovely. Props for making two types of bread. So they did show her love for getting in and getting it done. Maxie is a great baker, and
Yes.
So like I said, I hope to see her go far. Sandro, Bread is baked beautifully. Frosting balances well with the flavors inside. You see Paul step back when he ate that? Took that bite. He had to step back and like touch himself. I was like, yeah, damn, boy, you out here. And I saw it, and I saw it, and I was like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? What it is the shit was delicious. But it's so good that the sauce overpowers all the individual meats. 3 types of beef is just 3 types of beef.
And it's all in barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I don't know what Sandra was getting at that point, but that was just an error on his part, I feel like. But it was good as shit. Like I said, Paul stepped back. Prue was like, look, this is...
He seasoned it. He seasoned the meat.
The sauce is great. It overwhelmed the meats. It was so great. And there was no individual flavors to the various meats he had popping. But yeah, otherwise, my man was on point. And again, those are those errors that I'm like, you'll definitely fix that the next time. You'll recognize what you did wrong and adjust going forward. Dawn's looks lovely, a simple design, good bread. Some of the bread was not sliced right; it was a little too thick. None of the key Grecian flavors, and it's too bready. Paul was like, no coriander, no mint, no this, no that. He was super salty off of that shit. It's like, bruh, I know you think you made some Greece shit here. You did not. You made some English shit and tried to call it Greece, and that shit was whack. And I told you it was whack when you was first making it, and you ain't believe me. You could have went over to the cabinet, got you some more spices.
I think if the point of it is to look like a cake, Dawn to me did the best at that. It was like beautifully decorated. It was very simple, but it was like lovely and classic. Like if I would have cut into that and been like, oh shit, it's a sandwich. Like I think like she executed that part of the challenge very
simple and effective. And were just based on that, she could have walked away. But then shit needed to taste good, and it simply did not.
Put some of that barbecue sauce on it.
It was missing the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
Oh yeah, I want to point that out. This is something I noticed, and y'all tell me if y'all thought y'all noticed. Maxie over there for the first time was making mayo, making mayo. Did that shit by hand. Turned out really well. Kevin is making mayo and explaining how mayo is just an emulsification of 2 different fats and so forth and so on. And then Maxie's super excited because she pulled it off, and then they cut to Janusz, and he like, it's not rocket science. I'm like, bitch. It felt like the way they edited that she was talking about her, and I'm giving you the grace of that's just an edit situation that you wouldn't talk reckless about my homegirl, but you won't notice
where they stand in the kitchen to see if he could hear her.
Yeah.
But the first time I made mayonnaise, I had the same reaction as her. Like, oh shit, I've made mayonnaise. It's really like 2 ingredients, but like, it's an amazing thing.
So Kevin was using a hand mixer. Janusz was using an immersion blender. She did that shit with a whisk and a bowl. Way more. I find that to be way doper because he is slowly pouring oil and whipping that shit up and came through it and whipped up. So I was like, hell yeah, you did, lady.
Let me find out Janusz was talking shit about our girl.
I was just saying, I just want you to notice that I noticed, okay? Your star baker this week is indeed Janusz. 2-star bakers for my man so far. He really was a star baker this week. He really kind of came through. Only one he didn't come through on was the pizza, and that's just because they didn't like they wanted his flavors to pack more of a punch, but I thought the idea was sound, if gross. But he came through with it. But when you got 2 people out of the tent for COVID, you can't really send anyone home. And no one got sent home this week in a week that Kevin ass should have been sent home. And what that means is next week, 2 people should be going home. And if not next week, maybe they'll do like say sooner than later. Like 2 of y'all motherfuckers going home. And I truly hope it is next week. I had to go into the wiki again today, like later in the day, and I was like, "What time is it?" I'm like, "Ooh, that episode is definitely up in England." So I had to scroll real fast to get to just the information I need off of it, which was just how to spell Smörgåstårta. So, and so I don't know what happened tonight as we record, but 2 people could have went home, and I will find out later in the week when I watch the episode. Again, Kevin should have went his ass home this week. Y'all know it. Am I wrong? Who else would y'all send home this week?
No, his ass needed to go home.
I kind of feel like he should have went home. That edit said like the way they just kept on focusing on those mistakes that he should have went home, but they probably would have sent like down home or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they probably would have. You're right. That would have been like more of a producer decision than a Paul and Prue situation, I feel like. But man, I'll see you next week, boy. But I ain't happy about it. Poll this week was I'm doing this from memory, was is a scone just a biscuit? And the options were no way, no, how dare you, and of course. And 100% people said how dare you. So okay, therefore a scone is not a biscuit. Sorry y'all. Didn't want to.
You got some saucy listeners there.
Did not
I definitely voted.
did not mean to offend. Anything else before I check out? Okay, next week is Mexican week, which I am I don't know what to do with.
What's that
More
mean?
black beans.
Well, so yeah. It's like I'm like, yeah. What will that mean?
Hopefully, it's that they're doing like pan dulce and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh hell yeah. The conchas, so for the song, that could be a real fun. That could be a real fun go around. There you go, Nick. Thank you. So we will see what the next week has in store for us. Again, we will develop you a question or a poll after we get off this call, or after we stop recording this call. It's a good week. Bread week, not the best bread week when you're down two hitters. Who, if I had to think about it, if I had my druthers, I would probably say I don't think Rebs would be a hell of a bread baker.
I don't either.
Whereas Abdul could probably pull something out his hat, or at least maybe whip up a dope pizza. And I hope that when they come around, that they might get an opportunity to show us some of their bread trickery. So
it was not a good bread week, but I thought it was a great week. I thought it was an entertaining episode. I really super enjoyed it. Like, we got to see more of people's personality. I'm growing fonder of more of the contestants. Like, I thought it was a great episode.
Yeah. I'm having a good deal of fun with this season. Also, doing the show helps with that, because it's like I said, I give it a little more. Look, I'm still sticking with watching the episode first, as opposed to trying to take my notes and then come back later, sit and watch my notes. Today, as I typed notes, I went ahead and turned on the closed caption. Not that I don't understand the English, because I do. I needed a bunch of spelling of stuff. When Kevin said he used emmer flour, I was like, what the fuck did he say? So that's literally when I had to turn it on. And he said emmer, emmer, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And so then, of course, I have to go down that rabbit hole. Shouts out to my man Chalfie. I was talking to him last night. We were recording Cadillac on Mars, and he said what he enjoys about us doing this podcast. He goes, I don't really get down with British Bake Off, but listening to y'all talk about it makes me want to watch it, and therefore I end up watching the show because y'all have such a good recap of it. I'm like, well, there you go. That's kind of the vibe. So props to the homie Chalfie. Thank you for that, my man. But that is it for the week. I'm saying, as always, thanks for joining us. That is the homie Nick Jew.
Hasta la vista, babies.
You know it. That is Tatum 216.
Catch you on the rise.
Oh,
because my shit stay proofed at the appropriate amount of time, and so you get a good fluff out of it. I am the Understatement 713. We will catch you next time. Get your bake on, people. Peace.
Dad, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.